Hello and welcome back to my car where apparently I do most of my book reviews. It is Friday, December 8th. I just left work. I have you kind of like set crooked, but hopefully that's fine with everybody. I just finished Persepolis today while I was at work. This was so good. It's a memoir about her growing up in Iran during the Iranian Revolution. I think in 1979 is when it started. I kind of wish that more books were in this format. I found it being a memoir and kind of full of historical information, but it obviously, because it's a graphic novel, it's done in a very easy to consume way, and I really liked it. And it goes from, you know, her being a small child all the way to her being in her mid-20s, oppressive regime, and just trying to be a teenager and like wanting to be, you know, wanting to party and stuff like that. I just thought this was so good, and it actually has inspired me to pick up a couple more graphic novels, and so we'll see how that goes. It's definitely on my favorites for the year and will be in my favorites for the month, and I'm talking too long. So onward. Hi, so I'm back today. It's September 13th, and I actually filmed a review for the book that I finished yesterday, thinking I was going to add it to this video, and I ended up rambling so much that I think I want to put it up as a separate review. The book in question is The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, and I just loved this so much. I kind of wonder, you know, sometimes when you read a certain book and it's just the right time for the book, because I don't know if I would tell everybody to read this because it is a little bit vulgar and it's got some like triggering kind of things, but I really liked it a lot. So I'm gonna post that video separately so that it doesn't make this video so long. But basically this book was about three main characters, but Alex is really the main protagonist, and she had her sister was murdered, and that kind of like triggered something in her where she kind of passes on not judgment, but she kind of the guy who killed her sister walked free, and so she decided to take it into her own hands, and then this kind of spawns into other things in her life. So yeah, I really liked this, trying to keep this one a little more short and sweet, but I will leave the link to my full review down below in case you want to know a little bit more. But this one was really good and very easy. Usually I mark a lot of things, but in this book I didn't, which actually typically if I don't mark a lot of things in a book, it typically means I didn't like it that much, but this is kind of the exception to that rule in that I just really liked it and I could not put it down. So that's all I have to say about this one, and we will continue on. I feel like I look really tired today. It's a Sunday morning, and I'm trying to keep these videos kind of real, and I just want to be like wearing what I'm wearing, and made up or not, I want to have the I just want that to be part of the content. I finished Defending Jacob finally last night. I started this a while ago, and I put it down to read Persepolis, I put it down to read A.J. Fikry, and I also read The Female of the Species in between this. I would read this and it was fine. It's a crime, like courtroom drama about this guy who's a DA. They find a murdered, I think he's like 14 or so. All of a sudden his son becomes the main suspect, and then they go to court. And I just felt like I had to make myself read this. It wasn't bad when I was reading it, but oftentimes, like, this is a book that I would like skip paragraphs. I would scan paragraphs because I just wanted it to move faster. I had to make myself read it. It got to the ending that I kind of wanted it. I wanted it to have like a juicier ending, and it kind of did, but I felt like I really had to work towards it, and I wouldn't tell anybody to see it. Actually, it gets really good reviews, and one of my coworkers saw me carrying it the other day, and she was like, oh my god, I loved that book. And I was like, really? Because I'm struggling. And I was on page maybe like 250 of 420, and she said, yeah, in the middle it gets kind of bogged down. But I felt like it was the last like half that I was bogged down, and it really got interesting maybe in the last like 20 pages. So I wouldn't recommend, but maybe if you like courtroom dramas, maybe you would like it more than I do, because I feel like I need more like fast-paced courtroom dramas, I guess. So that's it for this one. Good morning. I finished another book this morning. I've been listening to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I think I mentioned that in the last video. This is really weird lighting because it's early. It's like 7:15. I just have to eat breakfast and then go to work. The Half-Blood Prince is just my very favorite, and I just like always get, you know, kind of sad at the end but excited. I am gonna move on to the last book, but I think before that I'm gonna listen to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I got the I think it was on sale, the one with Scarlett Johansson narrating it, so that's what I'm gonna start. I started it just like the tiniest bit this morning while I was making breakfast, but that's it. Now I'm gonna go eat, and I just love Half-Blood Prince so much. I'm on a roll this week. I just finished Day Trippa. It's about the main character, Bros, and he kind of goes through these different scenarios. I don't want to say a lot about it. He goes through these different scenarios. He's an obituary writer. At the end of every chapter, there is an obituary written for the way that his life ended. And it's all different scenarios all the time. And then at the end, it kind of ties it all together, and it makes you kind of understand why you were seeing all of these different obituaries for him. It's really pretty. My favorite page is this page right here, and it is page 33. I would recommend this. I am just kind of trying to get into some graphic novels. I got Blankets is on hold for me at the library. I'm gonna go grab that today. And also Mouse, M-A-U-S. I think probably anybody who has seen graphic novels has probably seen that one. Yeah, this is a weird angle I think today, but it is what it is. And Toby is dying to get out of here. So that is it for this one. I finished a book today. I'm having one of those days. I just got off work, and I'm having one of those days where I just feel like I'm tired, so I look like I'm tired. And today I finished Blankets by Craig Thompson. It is a chunky book. It's a graphic novel, and I think it's 582 pages. It's quite like heavy. I mean, I read bigger books sometimes too, and this one was really heavy and chunky. It was so good, and I'm finding that with the graphic novels that I've kind of been reading. I like that it's based on his life, Craig's life growing up, sharing a bedroom with his brother is a big part of it, falling in love for the first time, growing up in a very Christian household, and really finding a lot of good and direction, I suppose, in learning about the Bible and God and having a really strong faith, but then starting to question things. And I really liked this one. This is one I would totally recommend. I got it from my library. My favorite picture is on page 584, and I don't want to say too much about it, but it's this guy, and it's literally just like the end of Earth, the car falling out. I just really liked that. You can see me. I just feel so dumb when you can see me, because I feel like you can see how like ridiculous my setup is. I'm sure everybody feels like that, but I sometimes worry that I should have a more professional setup, more professional camera, like all of that stuff. I should be like done up more. That's a whole other rant, but yeah, I just feel like I should have more exciting backgrounds and stuff, but it is what it is. This is what I can do for now. I think people could relate to that a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that grew up in a super religious home where maybe they weren't allowed to question faith. Maybe not even in your home, but in your church or whatever. I really liked this one, and I think it was really quite easy to read. I read it off and on over the course of 2 days. So pretty easy to get through, obviously. So that's it. That's the song, right? Beatles, right? I just finished that today. Ugh, every time I try to film in this setup, Toby feels like he needs to come over here. So Toby's joining us. I think they're in middle school. all of a sudden his son is the main suspect. Toby. There we go. We're gonna have a little nub here. Dramas are maybe just not for me. You're just gonna be in this frame. Yes. You're just, Toby's gonna be in and out of the frame. It's fine. Oh, Toby's joining us. Get down. Come on. Good job. Okay. Toby, my videographer, has moved the camera a little bit, so I don't know if this is gonna be a really weird video.